So let's move on to Inter, okay? I'm just gonna run down to the transfers and then we can start talking. All right, they have re-signed Romelu Lukaku from Chelsea on an 8 million loan. Signed Andre Onana, new goalkeeper from Ajax. Mkhitaryan on a free, Aslani on a 4 million loan from Empoli, which will be like what's it called, permanent transfer. Raul Beranova on a 3 million loan from Cagliari, and sold Ivan Perisic or lost Ivan Perisic. Korea, I didn't count the like people we already knew were gonna stay because he was obligation.
Yeah.
So and then lost Perisic to Spurs, and then paid Vidal, Alexis Sanchez, and Mattia Vecino to leave. So okay, those are the major moves.
Yeah.
I feel like they're the betting favorites. I know that they're everybody's pick. I'm just gonna make my case right now as to why I don't think they're gonna win. Right. First of all, this idea that they're running it back from 2 years ago is not true. It's factually
completely insane.
Exactly. It's like
think this Lukaku is going to score 36 goals or whatever is just out of
forget that even. Like even if we say and we pretend that he's gonna come back just like he was last time, right? It's still no Conte, who's a better manager than Inzaghi, and it's still no Hakimi, right? Who's way better than whoever the hell they're gonna have at right wing back. Oh yeah, or allegedly if he leaves to Chelsea, there's that whole thing. You haven't seen that, dude? There's rumors that Chelsea want to pay 40 million for Dumfries, and I'm like,
Chelsea's best player right now is Reece James. What do they need with Dumfries?
No, listen. My idea, all I was saying was like, how do you pay 40 million for a dude who was like in a knife fight with Darmian for his position? How do you? Because I bet you they don't think Darmian is a 40 million player. Anyway. Listen, then it's like last time they won the league, De Vrij was the best center back in the league, and he's not anymore, right? He's declined. And I get Skriniar is now the best in the league, but they're probably gonna have to sell him. And their plan was to sell him and sign Bremer. And now Bremer's gone to Juve, and they can't, and they have to somehow, some way, they need to make 60 million in transfer profit by the end of this summer or the winter, right? So either now or in January, they're gonna lose a major player, right? So there's that hanging over their head. And if they lose Skriniar, I don't give a fuck what they do with that money. They're not replacing him.
The notes I took on Inter was, I said my prognosis was first, and the reason was no clear weaknesses over a full season. And I put an asterisk on the first. And I said, unless Skriniar leaves.
To me, it's like all that combined, I just don't see, I don't see how they win. They can win, sure, right? They're contenders, they're second. I'm not even having them just a second, but I still think that makes us favorites.
So
you can tell me why.
Let me be you're the angel on Milan fan shoulder right now. What you're saying. Let me be the devil on Milan fan shoulder. The reason I think Inter will probably win the league season is for like 60 to 70% of last season they were better than us, and the main reason why they lost Serie was a goalkeeping error that is like a 1 in 100 chance.
No, wait. I'm not doing that.
I know that's fake. Technically, that's not true because Milan lost like 2 games we shouldn't have lost because
not even forget that. It's like they didn't lose, but you don't lose because of 1 game. They lost because Lautaro missed 5 billion sitters. They lost because when Brozovic missed 3 games, they couldn't. They had nobody. They completely collapsed. Those are some of the reasons they lost. It doesn't come down to 1 game.
But my point is just that I still think that in terms of like overall squad quality, I still feel that when I look at Inter's typical lineup of, Skriniar, De Vrij, Bastoni, Barella, Brozovic, Lukaku, Lautaro, Çalhanoğlu, like those guys over a full season will probably create more offense, score more goals than Milan. That defense is very, very solid. It still feels like they're just like half a step ahead of us. And this might just be my pessimism. This might just be my not fully believing in Milan. But like, I don't know. I just feel over a course of a full season, over 38 games, like I feel it's more likely that they lose fewer games and win more games than we do. That's just how I see it. Especially if like the quality in midfield that they have with Barella, Brozovic, Çalhanoğlu, and then Lautaro, and then Lukaku, who even as much as I say he sucks, he's still probably going to score a decent amount of goals. So on any given weekend, it's overwhelmingly likely that Inter will win and Milan will win too. So it will still be a title race. And then from there, it just depends on like who gets the more bounces. I mean, look at Milan Derby. Until 70th minute, we were
but
the final whistle. We were hoping, oh, let it just be over. And then Giroud scored a brace, and just like that, season was over.
yeah.
So at that level, when you're the other team, it's hard to make those projections outwards because everything has to go in our favor. Like Inter only has to get lucky once. We had to get lucky like 50 times, essentially. So
yeah.
Going into the season, I still think Inter are favorites, and like Vegas loves them. All the betting companies love them. But like, you definitely make good points that like it is a lot more. It's just to use the classic Niang Chiesa graph. I feel like their ceiling is higher than us, but the bottom has the potential to fall out hugely for them, and that's not really the case for Milan. Milan is probably going to be
exactly their worst stretch. We didn't have a stretch like that. We didn't have a stretch that bad where they just drew. This is the other thing with Inter, right? People do not hate draws enough. Like last year, we're like, oh, but they only have 2 losses. Like, who cares? They have 10. They have 10 draws. It's like it accumulates. It's not like, to me. Okay, for their title charge, in my opinion, depends on Lukaku comes back and he's the best player in the league, like he was last time, right? And even then, right? My thing was last time he was in the league, he was the best player in the league, and we had nobody on the team who could even be in that conversation at that point, right? I think even if he comes back as good as he was back then, which I don't think he will, but even if he does, I think Leao is still in that conversation.
Yeah.
I think Leao is that good at this point.
I also think that at the same time, Conte's management style really allowed Lukaku to do a lot of those things.
Exactly.
And Simone Inzaghi is a different kind of guy, and he's still using the same fear at the back. He's still using the same sort of like verticality, and but I just think his priorities as a manager are not the same as Conte, and when it comes like what he's demanding of his
their entire attacking style is going to have to change to accommodate him, because when they won the first time, everything went through him. Everything was about his hold up. Everything was about giving him the ball, and he holds it up for 8 seconds, and everybody runs off of him. Right?
It looks very different now.
Exactly.
People haven't watched Inter in a while, and they come back. It's no
exactly. And he's gonna come back, and he's gonna expect that, right? Mm-hmm. And they're not gonna have done it for a year. And Inzaghi will have never implemented that system. It's not him. It's not him who came up with that, and it's not him who executed it properly. So what if he can just mess it up? If he messes it up, then it doesn't look as good as it did last time. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is uncertainty. People are acting like, oh, it's just I just don't know why people are acting like it's just a rerun of last time. It's like only Lukaku came back. The other dude, like the other dudes didn't. Handanovic is worse. All these different things. It's still a new keeper who has had his own shaky moments, by the way. Like, I don't know.
It's like, looking at them right now, you can say, oh wow, it's a positive that they didn't lose anyone, but then they stand the potential to lose a lot of people still.
Exactly.
So I guess you've kind of talked me slightly further from the ledge than I was before we started this call, but yeah, I guess we'll see by Christmas then what the win-loss is like.
You know what the crazy thing is? And it's like, if they don't, they need the 60 million profit, right? And what nobody's talking about is like, if they don't do that now, right? Do you know what happens what conversation, what the front page of Gazzetta is every single day for the first 6 months of the season? You get what I'm saying? Like every single day is, because this is the talking point I wrote, right? If they don't sell one of those guys and they don't make 60 million, every single day, the front page of Gazzetta is Lautaro and Barella and Bastoni and Skriniar. And it's like, which one do you sell? Right? And dude, having that as a team, and then when January rolls around, you actually have to sell one of them.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, to me, they have to do it now. They have to just bite the bullet, sell one of them, which I think it's going to be Skriniar, because at least, even though it's going to be a downgrade, at least what that gives you is like, okay, fine. We go into the season, we finish the season with the same stability. Because if you go on this blistering run at the beginning of the season, then you have to sell Skriniar in January. Could you imagine what happens to your team?
Yeah.
Like, it's a disaster.
Although my personal philosophy, like if I was like sporting director of Inter, I would do everything I could to not sell Skriniar because when you look
Well,
at
let's do it.
Lautaro,
Let's talk about it. Of the four, who do you sell?
the thing is that like when I look at Inter's team, I see such a rigidity to that structure. And when you look at, especially when you look at three at the back teams, like the attackers are so. I mean, when you look at Atalanta, Duvanzi, Luis Muriel, it doesn't matter who, like, but they have that base of Rafael Toloi. They have all those guys, and you can replace some gradually, but you don't want to replace the best dudes, you know.
Yeah.
When I look at Inter's team, I see Lautaro, and Lautaro sticks out. I've never liked that dude. He's never gotten a passing grade from me. He scores a lot of goals, but the disappearing acts against serious teams, I hate
the long stretches without goals.
I hate bunch scorers. I hate people who scored 30 goals and it all came in 6 games. I hate those players. Dybala is one of them.
I was literally about to say.
Lautaro is another one of them. So when I look at that Inter team, Lautaro is a dude that if he leaves, I lose the least sleep. I'm like, okay, yeah, we find another striker. You can find attackers anywhere, man. But how many Skriniars are in Europe right now? How many guys can you get that will be the best CD in Serie if you buy them? It's so impossible. So obviously that is the trade-off. It gets you the most money, but as a team, as speaking purely from the sporting perspective, I would do everything I could to not sell Skriniar. Bastoni, I could live with just because, especially these days in Serie, young defenders are coming out like crazy. It's like it's insane. It's like culture ball. Like they're just pumping them out. All these dudes, they sign for these mid-table clubs. They play for one season and coaches fall in love with them. This dude that last year got to play beside Romagnoli, he's dude, I'm just like CBs. I can live with CBs, but like Skriniar,
especially in the three at the back.
Yeah. Especially the three at the back, you can live with them. But Skriniar is the one dude that I would do everything I could to not sell that dude. Barella, he's so I was a hater for a long, and it was a hating from a place of love because I used to watch Kyrie a lot, and I saw this dude. I saw how nice it was, but he just had so many annoying things like the yellow cards and he
was a bad decision maker at that point.
And he's cleaned that up a lot now, and he's so nice now. I think he's like the best midfielder in Serie, like right now, like overall. I know we'll talk about that later. Yeah. But like, yeah, if you're Inter, you don't really want to sell someone like Barella because that's such an important player, especially in the center of the pitch. And he's kind of like, he has the potential to be like a long-term, face of the club kind of thing. And all the fans love him. He has a big contract until whenever. So like, I really look at those 4 options, and Lautaro to me is just the one that I'm like, yeah, I can live with not having this dude next year.
To me, it's Bastoni first. I'd sell him easy first.
Yeah.
Then Lautaro. Then Barella, then Skriniar. Like Skriniar is so clearly the last one you would sell.
Yeah.
Like I still can't believe they didn't. First of all, I'm surprised they've left it this long. Like they knew what they needed to do, and the whole idea was okay. We sell one of the 2 center backs, and then we get Bremer, right? And I don't think that's like if they had sold Skriniar and gone Bremer, it's a downgrade. But at least Bremer, like we know, was the next guy.
I think they pump fake Juve because that dude is very.
Nah, man, he's real. Come on, he's nice.
I mean, if worse comes to worse, Skriniar, I mean, you find a way. Yeah, you might have to change formation honestly because he's the dude that's just making that entire system work. So if he's not there, that's something for Simone Inzaghi to figure.
Napoli. This one's the one I've been most excited to talk about because honestly, excited because I texted because I feel like we have different opinions. Like I texted you yesterday, and I was like, looking at the totality of the Napoli signings has actually made me like physically tired. First of all, not just because of the signings they've made and the departures, right? But I have it like color coded. Like in blue, I have all the potential stuff. And the potential Napoli signings and like departures is bigger than the stuff they've actually done. And they've done a lot, right? Like just the potential. Let's go through all the signings, right? First of all, the departures, because that's the biggest one. They sold the best or the second best I think actually screw that. I was wrong when I said Skriniar was the best in the league. I was wrong. Koulibaly was the best in the league.
Probably, right? Yeah.
Right?
I mean, the two of them are
In my opinion, to be fair,
for
because
me
it could
too.
be close between that. Right?
Mhm.
They sold the best center back in the league, and in my opinion, the second best center back in the world, right? For 38 million to Chelsea. They sold Lorenzo Insigne, the club icon, everything, right? Who had not gotten bad, by the way, right?
Yeah, he was still last season. He was still there, like,
and 2 seasons removed from 19 goals,
mm,
right? From left wing as a midget,
very bold decision,
right?
Mhm.
Let him go for free. They sold whatever Ospina and Dries Mertens. I mean Ospina was the starting keeper, so it's not whatever. It's a position, but he was old, and Mertens also for free, right? Cool.
Mhm.
They replaced that with Min Jo Kim for
Now,
18
Kim,
million from Fenerbahce. He looks good.
actually,
He looks
like,
good.
yeah, I mean,
No, listen.
he has the potential to.
He looks the part.
Yeah,
He looks the part. Like when I saw him, I'm like,
I was
okay,
surprised. I was
okay,
like,
I
wow,
I can see the idea, right? But
yeah,
he's not Koulibaly.
he's not cool, buddy.
Because if he was Koulibaly, he wouldn't be at
Yeah, he
Napoli.
wouldn't be, yeah, and he
Right?
wouldn't be in Turkey at the age of 25 or whatever. But like,
To be fair, that's Asian player tax. Like he was
yeah,
actually playing in
it's
Asians,
really
but
it's different.
yeah, like, but again, like I don't think he's Koulibaly. We can, it's safe to assume that. Then they bought out Anguissa,
Yeah,
right?
from Fulham.
15 film from him. Love it. Love that signing. Like I love that dude so much.
Very good.
As soon as Kessie like wasn't extending, I was immediately on transfer market. I was like, do they have an option? Please tell me they don't have an option. Like, can we like hijack that shit? Can we get in the middle of that? They signed Matias Oliveira, a left back, 11 million from Getafe. Okay, I worked on this one. Hold on, let's see if it works. Okay, they signed Kivisha.
Kvaratskhelia.
No, it's a W. It's Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah,
that's how I saw it.
Yeah, it's Kvarat. Any Eastern
no. The V becomes a W. So
really?
The V, yeah, like that's how I heard it.
The name is KV.
Yeah, look.
Oh, it's not KW, it's KV.
No, it's KV, right? So listen, there's V's in his first and last name. The first one is like the Kva, right?
Yeah.
And then the second one becomes Kvaratskhelia or something, right? Anyway.
Yeah.
So that's how I watched like 5 videos to try to get it. Anyway, they signed him for 10 million from Dinamo Batumi. And Leo Ostigard, 5 million from Brighton, who was on loan at Genoa last year, and it was kind of good. Anyway, then the potential signing, right? These are actually like, they're not like, oh, this rumor came up once and it's nothing. Like these are actually like real, right? Fabian Ruiz will be going to PSG. Like that's just
seriously.
Yeah. Like
no, I don't follow this stuff, so this is all.
Okay, well, I'm telling. Well, okay, then you can react to live.
So you're getting live reactions.
Fabian Ruiz is
now.
like this week going to PSG, right? They're trying to sign Raspadori, right? They've accepted the bid for Zielinski from West Ham, but he doesn't want to go to West Ham. So
Zielinski.
Yeah, so he probably stays because he doesn't want to go to West Ham, right? Meret is going on loan to Spezia, which means they will have 0 senior goalkeepers. Yeah. Meret is going to Spezia on loan, right? I can't believe it either, right? They're trying to sign. So they're trying to sign Navas. Oh, sorry. They do have a senior keeper because they just signed Sirigu. Who? What do they have?
Usually the lineup that I put like.
Oh, you have Meret?
Meret and Zielinski.
And it's all. No, I mean, like I said, Zielinski is probably staying.
Fabian that would shock me. That's like, right?
Anyway, so listen. Then they signed Sirigu to be their backup keeper, right? And now they're trying to sign Navas, Keylor Navas, which makes sense. That would be a good signing. But they're also in contact with Chelsea for a loan with option to buy for Kepa Arrizabalaga.
Wow.
Right? So if the Navas thing doesn't work, then Kepa will be their goalkeeper. Funny enough. Right? Then they're also trying to sign Lo Celso or Ndombele from Spurs to replace Fabian. And finally, they're about finalizing a deal to sign Giovanni Simeone from Hellas. That's to be their backup striker. Given that Petagna is going to go to Monza. Okay. That is all the potential. Do you see, dude, do you see how big that category was? That's all the stuff. So again, and this is all not happened yet, but could happen.
That's so
and the season starts on Saturday. Like, we're recording this on Tuesday. The season starts on Saturday. And that is the like I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do a lineup, right? Currently constructed. No, let's say none of the potential ones happen, right? Currently constructed, you have Merit, Oliveira, Kim, Rahmani, Di Lorenzo, Anguissa, Fabian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kvaratskhelia, Zielinski, Politano, Osimhen, right?
Yeah,
Not a terrible.
It's slightly different, but it's basically the same. I had Merit,
something like
Ramani, Kim, Mario Rui, Anguissa, Lobotka, Kvaratskhelia, Zielinski, Lozano, Osimhen.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, Lozano, Politano, whatever.
Basically, like Napoli, you always know I love every day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is as presently constructed. What will likely, like I penciled in the ones that are actually likely to happen, right? We have one of Kepa or Navas is going to be their keeper, right? Then Fabian is leaving, so one of Ndombele or Lo Celso will likely be the starter. Oh, and if it's not one of them, then it's Lobotka. So there's that. Then you have Raspadori, if they get that across the line, that's instead of Politano or Lozano or whoever, right?
That's good depth for wing positions.
It is. But then I'm looking at that and it's like it's worse. It's significantly worse than last year, right? And they finished third last year, and they weren't too far that much better than Juve come the end of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Juve got better. I don't love their signings either, but they got better, right? Right? And it's like, and Roma got better, and it's like, you know what I have them finishing?
What?
I have them finishing 7th.
Wow, that's very. I had them finishing 3rd, and the reason I had them finishing 3rd is because
that's why I said I was excited because I knew you would have them high.
Yeah, the reason I had them finishing 3rd, the plus is my outlook for them was the plus is Zielinski and Osimhen goals. They'll score a lot of goals, and plus that Spalletti is back. Spalletti always maintains a very high standard of these teams. Like no matter what, when he was at Roma, so much change on turn, but he just has that standard. He's a very good manager. And then my minuses were losing a lot of production, and you never get
a whole lot of production. Like
the last minus was starting 11 looks very different.
Yeah.
And now it could have the potential to look even more different.
You said it looks very different, and you didn't even know about all this shit.
I didn't even know about all this stuff, and I still said it looks very different. That's crazy, yeah.
Dude, like, to me, it's like, we'll talk about why I think they're 7th, because I think some of these other teams have done stuff, and
I think you're higher on the other teams than me. I think
that's why. But we'll talk about that in a second. But just to me, it's like, God, man. First of all, we're really like, and Twitter in general, or the world, I guess, seems to think that this Georgian kid, 21 years old, right? By the way, right? They've signed him from the Georgian league, and previously from that, he went to the Georgian league because of the whole Russian contract situation. But again, previously from that, he was in the Russian league as a teenager. That's the extent. So many people are confident that this guy's amazing, and he might be. Well, I don't know. I have no idea, right? I've never watched him. But I know that these other people haven't watched him either. So where does the confidence come from? Dude, people are telling me, oh, well, he's great for the national team. Who the hell was he playing for Georgia? Who was he playing? What friendlies can Georgia even play? Right? Like, I don't understand.
One thing I will say about Serie in general is that it's very easy for wingers to eat.
I agree. 100%. And like I said, he might be amazing.
It's not a bad bet. If you are betting, it's not a bad bet to make. But like,
no, but listen,
it's definitely more question marks than exclamation marks.
It's not even about, is this guy good or is he bad? It's about, he's replacing Lorenzo Insigne.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm expecting. Like, okay, let's say Insigne is a 9, right? I think it is reasonable to expect that this guy in his first season is, even if he's amazing,
Yeah, he's
a
not
7.
Yeah.
He's a 7, right? That's a lot. That's so much difference. You know what I'm saying? And then when we talk about Osimhen is a mythical character. He doesn't actually exist the way we think he exists.
Yeah, the way I think he exists, especially.
Like, he's incredible, right? But he's never played. And I get it.
That's really all this hinges on. My asterisk was if Osimhen can stay on the field, I think they'll finish third. That was my prediction.
You know what it is, though?
I think he will score so many goals that losing.
If he plays.
Yeah, if he plays. Yeah. My prognosis is that if over a full season, Osimhen is healthy more often than he's not for like 35, 36 starts, I think he will score so many goals that it will make up for losing Insigne, losing Mertens, losing potentially even Zielinski. I think he's that level of striker, but again, that's all very hypothetical. I will say on the offensive side, the potential stuff is a lot better. Like Raspadori, Giovanni Simeone, those are like very reassuring.
Yes,
Other ones, I don't know about.
Dude, it's the midfield. Like
it's very, very
scary as fuck. Very, if I'm replacing Fabian with maybes, gambles, complete gambles.
Yeah. Very weird.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, maybe reality is somewhere in between, and they get.
It probably is in the middle. It's probably
fourth or fifth, realistically.
5 and 7. To me, the gap between 5 and 7, it's whatever. It's a toss up, right? But I just don't have them making Champions League. Is the overall point, honestly.
Yeah.
I
guess that the only logical conclusion now is talk about Juve, because from your implication here is that you think Juve will finish third.
Yeah. Juve. Okay, let's do the signings. Let's do the signings and the outgoings. Okay. They signed Bremer, 41 million from Torino. Di Maria, free from PSG. Pogba, free from United. 34 and 29 years old of age, those two.
And a 3-year deal for Pogba.
Yeah, and he's already injured. And Andrea Cambiaso, 8.5 million from Genoa, right? And seems, today I had to update this, seems very, 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 very close. They're going to sign Kostic from Frankfurt, who's a left wing back. So on the outgoing, they have sold De Ligt for 67 million to Bayern. They made a loss on a guy. No, I know we won ultimately. But again, they signed that guy because allegedly, like, okay, 85 million now, but we'll sell him for 120 million. They sold him for 67, right? 67 million to Bayern. Dybala free to Roma, which we'll talk about in a second. Morata's loan ended and he went to Atleti. They tried hard to get him back, but for some reason Atleti want to keep him, whatever. Chiellini
against them, insanely funny.
Yeah, in a friendly, yeah. Chiellini, one of the greatest we've ever seen, left for free to LAFC. And Cambiaso, the aforementioned 8.5 million signing, on loan to Bologna, which was funny to me because I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, your left back options are not good enough for you to loan him out.
When I saw that, I didn't even write it down because I just knew it was just one of those weird UV transfers that they always do.
It's like, but that was a one where it's like 2 years ago or 4 years ago, whatever. I would have been like, okay, cool, fine, whatever, because it's Alexandro and some other guy, right? It's like, oh, whatever. But that's not the case anymore. Your left back suck. Why are you loaning him out exactly? What do you have to rely on? And finally, by the way, Ramsey and Bernardeschi both left for free, and it looks increasingly likely that Rabiot will be going to United, so they can celebrate that.
Yeah. They even write Rabiot in my typical lineup.
Yeah, thank God, dude. I mean, that's the biggest win of the season for them. Dude, they can win the league. They can win the league, and selling Rabiot for 20 million will still be the highlight of their season. I have them finishing third, and you have them.
I have them fourth, just below Napoli.
Okay, fair. Like
the reason I gave was I just can't imagine an Allegri team missing out on top four. Basically, no matter how bad it gets, I just feel like that same level of standard. I mean, we saw it last season, even like they still finished fourth. even as bad as they were, as terrible as all their players were, they still finished fourth somehow. And I'm just like, okay, if I look at their lineup now, I still see Szczesny, I still see Bonucci, I still see Alexandru left back, and then they have Bremer now, who, like it or not, is a good player. Midfield is the big question mark for me, because when I look at midfield they're rolling with now, I see Zakaria, Locatelli, and Fagioli, YHC midfield, and all three are still better than Pogba. So I'm just like, okay, it looks like this is their midfield, and I'm just like,
Do you know who they're starting this week?
who?
They're starting Zakaria, Locatelli, and Miretti.
Yeah, that's and who?
Miretti. So another.
Another YHC. Damn.
Yeah.
So that's it. Like their entire midfield is YHC, and all are better than Pogba. So I'm just like, if this is their midfield for the entire season, 19 games is a lot to ask of that midfield. 19 wins is a lot to ask of that midfield. 20 wins is a lot to ask of that midfield. The attack, I'm less worried because unlike Pogba, Di Maria is actually serious. The guy is actually a good player. He's actually looks like he's ready for the season, unlike Pogba. Vlahovic, everyone can say what they want to say about that guy. He's a very good player. I think he's score a goal.
He is what he is.
Chiesa,
he's gonna score goals.
As much as I hate Chiesa,
he's a good player. He's back and it matters.
Yeah, they like him a lot, and there's good reason for them to like him. He has a number 7 shirt now, increased confidence, bigger role. I think they will improve from the very solid base that they had last season. Enough of the Andrea Pirlo nonsense, enough of the Weston McKennie, blah, blah, blah. They look like they are ready to play actual football, which is like, okay, good for them, because Juve being bad was very weird. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things where
it's fun, is what you're trying to say. It's the word you're looking for. It was fun. I loved every second of it.
It was very enjoyable because it feels like when you're in school and you break into a classroom and you're using the teacher's computer and you're like, how long can we keep this up for? Are they going to catch us? Like, is this allowed?
Like, you're just looking over your shoulder, like, at some point, this has got to stop, right?
Yeah.
I'm not used to this.
Yeah.
No, it's God. It was so much fun.
The weird thing with Juve, looking at their team, is that they still have the highest payroll in the league, and their team looks like this.
And they add to it. They keep adding to it. Di Maria, Pogba, and Bremer is huge money.
Huge. And I'm just like,
I
mean, these guys have their work cut out for them, because before they can get back to that level of like losing 5 games a season, all these guys have to improve leaps and bounds. They have to find a way to replace Bonucci, replace Szczesny, and get like
replace Chiellini.
Yeah.
He was still starting.
Yeah. It's very, very I can see a lot of them. I can see them losing a lot of random ass games.
Their center back depth is, correct me if I'm wrong, Bonucci, Bremer. That's it. Right? What else? Rugani? What are we? Oh, what's that guy? Gatti, the guy from Frosinone.
Oh yeah.
That young guy.
It's all like bench.
Nothing.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah. Even
by the way, so they can't play 3 at the back.
Yeah.
Or sorry, they're gonna do it with Danilo or whatever.
Yeah. That's their right back right now.
Yeah, that bullshit. I just don't see. They're not gonna be that like. Yeah. I saw a tweet earlier in the season when they signed Pogba and when they signed Di Maria, and somebody was saying like, it's Inter and Juve for the title, and they just didn't mention us. And I'm just like, okay, you know what? Even if you had said Inter, Juve, and Milan to the title, I'd still think you're an idiot, because Juve. Like, to me, they're a million miles away from.
I don't even think Juve think they are challenging for the title.
No, I think they'll tell everybody that. But in their hearts, they know. They know this.
It's something funny. The Juve best player, I wrote Szczesny. That's how much I believe in them. Like, I just do the lineup doesn't.
And he's injured, by the way. You know that he's injured.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's injured. Perrin is starting.
Like, literally, my outlook for them. Plus was Allegri, plus was Vlahovic, goal ladder, plus was young team with high ceiling, and then plus was Pogba. And then the minuses were lose a lot of production. 11 doesn't inspire confidence. And then minus was also Pogba. So it's like Pogba is just like, I feel the end result is that he just won't play that much because Allegri realized very clearly that he's just.
And he'll get injured. He's injured now. And did you see he's not getting surgery?
Yeah.
They had the decision of him getting surgery or not, and he's not getting surgery. And from every sport I've ever watched, from all my experience of sports watching, that is the worst decision you could possibly ever make. It never works.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's chosen that, he's not doing that for Juve. He's doing that for the World Cup. That's why he's doing it. And to me, like, you just signed this insane 3-year contract, right? And they're already your second priority.
he's not
That
even.
says a lot, dude. That says a lot.
Yeah, it's not. It's just I see Juve and like Pogba is just like for the fans, basically. Like he's not going to.
Bro,
He's not going to be a serious
I
like
literally said this the other day in the group chat. It's like Juve for the past 2 years or past 3 years since they did the Ronaldo signing. You know what they've been doing? They've been making footballing decisions like they're on the stock market, which they are, by the way. They're
yeah,
on the stock market, and that's how
yeah.
that seems to be how they're making footballing decisions.
So next you have Lazio next.
Yeah.
Okay, I had Roma next.
Even though Roma are the more exciting to talk about, but fuck it, I'll give
I actually
Lazio the
have more to
respect.
say about Lazio than you. I think I'm higher on Lazio than you. I think what do you have?
No, it's not. It's not even about higher or low. I just don't know half these players, so I'm not even gonna pretend that I know or don't know.
Okay.
Like, okay, all right. So let's do the whole thing. They signed Romagnoli, free from Milan. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Luis
The keeper from
Maximiano.
Mm-hmm.
Keeper, 10 million from Granada. Don't know
Mm-hmm.
him. Marcos Antonio, 22-year-old defensive midfielder. But they're the only team that I actually wrote the position with the age, because everybody else I just knew what the position was.
Yeah.
Marcos Antonio, 22-year-old defensive midfielder, 7.5 million from Shakhtar. Nicola Casale, 24 million center back, 7 million from Hellas. I knew him, obviously. Mario Gila, 21-year-old center back, 6 million from Real Madrid Castilla.
Mm-hmm.
And Matias Vecino, 30 years old, free from Inter. And then they sold Moriki.
You missed some rivals. They also got Zakani permanently.
Okay, but again, that was one of the ones where I think it was an obligation. They got
Cancellieri from mid-table.
Who?
Cancellieri.
Who the fuck is that?
He's an attacking player. He's a mid-table bowler. And then they also got.
Who did he play for?
I think it was like one of these mid.
Okay, man. See, you don't know either. I don't know who the fuck that is. I've never heard that name in my life.
Yeah, but
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he's nice though. He's nice.
Okay.
I remember his name, seeing some like he's.
I'll trust you because I don't know who he is.
Yeah.
But
and then also Provedel, the keeper, they got it. They have,
right, but he's not their starter.
Yeah,
Maximianos is the starter. So,
but when you see the departures, you understand.
Yeah. It makes sense because they lost. Yeah, I'm about to say they lost Moriki, who didn't matter, but just because he was an actual fee, I put him in.
Mm-hmm.
They lost Luis Felipe for free to Betis, which matters because he was a starter. They lost Strakosha and Pepe Reina. So that's what we were talking about. They got two keepers to replace the two keepers that left, and they Lucas Leiva finally left. Great player, by the way. I loved him for when he was in his prime. Anyway, so yeah, you tell me what I'm supposed to think about this team, because I don't know what the fuck to think.
So much. The reason I like this so much is because they've basically done what I constantly say that clubs like Lazio need to do more ambitiously. Like even the same thing for clubs like Man U, even notice that they've basically revamped their entire squad in a really bold, aggressive way where they've changed the entire age profile. Even Milan did this to an extent where they took a lot of starters and just didn't renew their contracts. And they said, you know what, we're writing this off as year zero. This is year zero. Let's just make a new foundation. They have two new keepers. They have Casale, young CB beside Romagnoli. They have Lucas Leiva leaving with Marcos Antonio replacing. It's a very, very aggressive squad revamp. And the nice thing, which I like, is that they still kept the important people. So Sergei is still back. Immobile is still back. That is what I like to see, because they're not just giving up and selling Sergei and saying we're hopeless. And I was like, no, they still want to try. I see the vision, basically. It's like they want to give Sarri a team that can be competitive going forward, not just like they're not in win now mode. That's basically what I hate. The signings where it's just like knee jerk. Let's just try and make something happen. It's like, no, let's try and build a foundation where we can add to it. We can get rid of what doesn't work. And it's like, it's very good, like project building from them. It's like, I'd like to see this sort of thing where they finished, what did they finish last season? Fifth. Yeah. So it's like, let's not there's no need to give up. Yeah. And it's like they weren't terrible. They weren't there was no cause for concern, but then they was being proactive. They are saying that these are issues that will crop up if we allow them to. So let's not allow them to. And it's like, that's very good. We don't really see.
To be fair, they had started equipment like Acerbi and Leiva and all, they were getting up there. So they hit it right before a collapse came. Like I agree with you on that. That is a
It
good.
was very proactive, and it's like that's what I like to see from sports teams
But
because
these signings do need to succeed. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter.
They're betting a lot on them, especially when
yeah,
you have two new keepers, both young, new
exactly.
back young. That's a lot to ask. And like, if this works, they'll look like geniuses. I mean, it's exciting, but like on a sporting level, I can see them just falling below Roma because like Roma didn't do that. So I mean, I guess you can see Roma did that last year, and then now Lazio has done that. So
let's talk about Roma, honestly. Look,
so Roma
to
next.
me, they did. Okay,
I guess
let's just go through
here too. We'll disagree here too because
we've disagreed on a lot actually, because we agreed on a lot last time. But anyway, okay, let's do it. They signed Paulo Dybala, free, 28 years old, free from Juve. They signed Gini Wijnaldum, 31 years old, on loan with an option to buy from PSG, which I liked. I love the formula at least. They signed Zeki Celik, 25 years old, for 7 million from Lille, which is he's a right wing back, whatever.
Yeah.
They signed Matic, 33 years old, free from United.
Who is their starter, by the way?
Yeah, and then they lost, or they sold. I guess they didn't lose. Okay, they sold Paul Lopez, Cengiz Under, who weren't part of the team last year anyway, and they sold Veretout, who was part of the team, for a combined 31 million all to Marseille. So I just put them on one category, and they lost Henrik Mkhitaryan to Inter for free. So last year I said what they did was dumb, right?
And I disagreed.
And I was right. You're right. But what they did last year allows them to spend a lot less this year, right? Like they did the big revamp, and the main part of them, they had a big gamble in terms of a lot of money, right? But the main part of that gamble, which was Tammy Abraham, worked beautifully, right? Exactly what you would have wanted. And I think he's going to keep getting better. So now they have potentially an attacking quartet of Tammy Abraham in whatever formation they play, whatever. They're not going to all play together, I don't think. But Tammy, Dybala, Lorenzo Pellegrini, and Zaniolo, right? Yeah. And I don't care what you think about the rest of the team, to be honest, because the rest of the team does have holes. But that four, that's something.
I mean, that's
fun to watch.
That's actually what I wrote down for them.
Yeah.
Like the new Fantastic Four of them will score a lot of goals.
That's and fun as hell. Like I will tune into games to watch that four.
Yeah.
Like,
and
to me, go on.
Importantly, they didn't lose a lot of production. All the players that left weren't the dudes that were like.
Yeah, Mkhitaryan was finished, and they replaced him with a better player. It's like
everyone important is coming back, and then they have a new look that is very exciting, and they have.
I think their midfield has always been the concern. Has been the concern for years, since Nainggolan and all those guys left, right? Mm-hmm. I think it'll settle on Cristante and Wijnaldum at some point during the season, right? Because I think, I mean, unless Matic does that like Serie rejuvenating thing, where all of a sudden he's back because like 3 years ago, Matic is kind of exactly what this team needs, right? But I mean, like, we're not expecting that to happen.
Yeah.
But if it did, it would be cool. But I'm expecting it to be Wijnaldum and Cristante to settle on that. And then it's kind of, honestly, then the team is kind of not that bad, honestly. Ibanez, Mancini, they're fine. Smalling, fine. I don't even know. Zeki Celik, I've heard that he's like an average, like good, okay, fine. He's good. Just stuff like that. Spinazzola is back.
Full-time, like he's very
which will matter if he's back to what he was. I just think they've improved. And let me just talk about Dybala for a second, okay? Because I feel like we've both had similar opinions on him about when he was at Juve, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've always called him a cherry on top player, right? If I have the nice Sunday and it's like I have all the pieces to help him be good, he can be the cherry on top, and he can elevate it, right? Can make it great. But I don't want the cherry by itself. Nobody eats the cherry on a Sunday by itself, right? Now, what's happened is I feel like people have gone all the way too much in that direction, where it's like now people just act like he's not a good player. And it's like, okay, dude, I get it. he's not amazing, and he'll stat pad against bad teams, and he isn't healthy enough, right? But when he's on the pitch,
Yeah,
he was still Juve's best player, in my opinion, right? Like when he is on the pitch, he is a big difference maker, right? He's still going to create a whole bunch, and Tammy's life is going to be so much easier having this guy next to him. I feel like people are acting like, oh, football's moved on from him. I don't think that's the case. I think his wages were what they were, and if every team could guarantee he could play 30 games, then he would have had a huge market. But realistically, he's not going to do that, and no team was stupid enough to give him, well, other than Roma, was stupid enough to give him that much money for that little reliability. But I just think he's such a good player. There's so much talent. So I think I'm a lot higher actually on that signing than a lot of people.
Okay, so my thing with Roma is that, like, when you look at their typical lineup, I agree with you that ideally, if they had a real manager, they would play Cristante. They would play Cristante and Pellegrini in midfield, and they would play Dybala and Zaniolo ahead of them, and they would play Abraham as number 9, where it should normally always be. And then Celik, Spinazzola right and left, and then the back three, usual back three. They have Mancini, Kumbulla, Ibanez, Vinia. Oh, decent players.
Yeah, nice squad, nice options. Yeah.
And then Rui Patricio keeper. But my thing is that, like, Mourinho has Matic and he will want to use Matic. That's my pessimism. So
he's gonna use Matic and Wijnaldum a lot.
Yeah,
that we know.
Is like anti what he wants. This is my problem. This is like Mourinho is everything. I have Mourinho as a minus for this team because it's like this team with the real manager will be so nice, but Mourinho will find a way to ruin it. And the way I think Mourinho will ruin that is that Cristante won't play as much because Mourinho will want to use Matic and he will want to, make them to be the more pragmatic sort of, like, he won't really allow them to play the way a team with those 4 players should, which is kind of like enemy of progress, because it's like the defense for this team still, I don't love it because, like,
it's fine. It's perfectly fine.
Amazing last season. So if you want to make that their identity, are you sure? Are you sure you want to make that their identity? And it's like, if you're going to make that their identity and you're going to rely on that midfield, I don't really know, man, because Matic, Wijnaldum, those guys are not who you want to, 30, 36 games across a full season. That's who
I'm just completely going for the talent play. I'm just going for talent, and that ends up with 4th. That's how I value what they have up top.
I'm still high enough on them that I think they will leapfrog Lazio this season, but I still think ultimately it all depends
you're higher on that.
Do I think that this team is better than Napoli over a full season with Mourinho as manager ahead of Spalletti? I don't know. I think that's a big ask. I think even if Napoli underachieves, I think Napoli is still comfortably better than Roma and Lazio, especially if Zielinski and Osimhen are fit for the full season. And I don't know. I think Roma is still there's so much enthusiasm, and the new quartet is
another thing. And I think it matters, honestly. I personally like I said, since their new ownership, I've not supported everything they've done, right?
Yeah.
But I do enjoy ambition. Show up to the league and actually try to make the league better, right?
Yeah.
Like, they could have easily done they've actively tried to make Roma more attractive as a team, to try to make them more competitive. I appreciate that.
That was my number one outlook: enthusiasm plus. Those fans are ready to go.
Yeah, okay, fine, we're not going to win the league. Oh, by the way, some people actually have them as title contenders, which I find.
Wait, really?
Seriously, I'm serious.
I think Mourinho has tricked so many people with his fancy quotes and everything. Like, these dudes were in Conference League, man. Like, they won.
They won the Conference League. And people said they were European champions. I'm like, only one team gets to call themselves European champions. Even the Europa League team, we don't allow that shit.
Not the Conference League.
Oh, it's not the Conference League at all. Last thing I'll say, I feel like I like the Wijnaldum signing a lot. Okay, first of all,
I think I might even be higher on Matic than Wijnaldum for that team.
No, I think Wijnaldum, because I feel like just sheer get around the pitch, cover ground, make some tackles, which is what all he did at Liverpool and all they needed. And I feel like he can do that because they're going to need a lot of that. With that, like, okay, we're talking about this all attacking talent. That
Yeah.
attacking talent doesn't track back. So,
Especially because the formation that they use only has two central midfielders. So I'm just like, Wijnaldum and Pellegrini is still very offensive for two.
No, but I'm not saying. I'm saying Zaniolo's out of the starting 11.
Oh, you are giving the
Pellegrini is above, and it's Wijnaldum and Cristante together.
Man. I'm assuming Zaniolo is back. He might be injured again. Okay, that.
No, it's not even about injuries. I just don't think he'll start because I think I think he's the worst of the four. Oh, okay.
Wow, that's
he might. What you think?
Okay, honestly, I
of the four, you think he's better than Dybala, Pellegrini, or Tammy?
I think Dybala is the worst of the four, but I'm a Dybala hater. So
come on, man. No, that's nonsense. That guy is so good.
Abraham, Pellegrini, Zaniolo, peak Zaniolo at Roma with the
Bro, what is peak Zaniolo? He had 2 goals last year. What is peak Zaniolo? I don't think that's a bad thing, by the way. Like, he's a dude off the bench or an option or rotation. It's great. Let's have it.
It's good for them.
They're in Europa League this year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So ultimately, I think it sounds, if you just heard this, it sounds like I hate Roma, but like I have them finishing 5th. Like
don't worry. Last year I was the Roma hater, and then this year. But like, again, my thing with also Wijnaldum is like
very good. I think they will be comfortably challenging for top 4 for most of the season, but I ultimately just think that Napoli and Juve will be better. Yeah. So the next team I have is Fiorentina. Who do you have next?
Yeah, I have Fiorentina too. Okay. Let's just do the signs quick. All right, we got Dodo. Never heard of him. Right back, 23-year-old right back, 14.5 million from Shakhtar, which is like a significant outlay. Luka Jovic on loan from Madrid, who they seem to are going to rely on a lot. And in preseason, he has 8 goals in 5 games. Which, I mean, preseason not everything, but it matters.
I like this team a lot. I mean, we're almost out of time. So I don't know if you want to. I don't know how much time you want to spend on Fiorentina, but like
not as much, honestly. Let's finish it and listen to him. Mandragora, 8 million from Juve. Golini on loan from Atalanta, who he will start because Dragowski's fallen off a cliff. The departures: Torreira, Odriozola, and Piontek. Their loans all ended, and they're not getting any of them back. So that matters. 2 of those guys were starters when they joined, so it matters. And then the rumors, there was a little bit of like Lo Celso buzz, which has died out because Napoli seemed to be in the lead for that. And then Bajrami from Empoli, which is the signing I would like. Those are the 2 I have here.
Bajrami would be a game changer because
that's what I'm saying. He would be very nice.
That's kind of a spoiler for something we'll talk about later, but like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this team, when you look at this team, the age profile, I like the age profile a lot. I love
Italiano.
Yeah, it's a very good head coach. That was my number 1 outlook. The plus was Italiano.
Yeah.
And I like that Castrovilli looks like the guy. Like, he looks like someone that over a full season, he can give them a very good amount of goals and assists. I like Bonaventura, obviously. I like Biraghi. I like the very young attack that they have. And I like the way Jovic fits in, because right now the dude that looks like that would be the starter without Jovic is this like Brazilian guy, Arthur Cabral. Yeah. And he's okay. He played like 12 games or whatever last season and he was fine. But like, Jovic definitely like raises the talent floor of that team if he hits. I have them. The assets I had was that they could even compete for 6th if Jovic hits. And that's a big ask. But like, I mean,
no, actually, I have them 8. Never mind. Go on.
Yeah,
I was about to say I agree, and then I was like,
but like the defense, I think we kind of disagree on keeper because I have Tarciano keeping for them and not Golini, just because
it might be, to be fair. I just think
I like because I like the way I like him. Like, I think he has a good physique for the type of ball that they play.
My thing, I only said that because Tarciano was not their starting keeper last year, and he only came in because Dragowski came off him. So I feel like at least their idea will be, okay, like Golini is going to be competing for the starting position.
Yeah.
That's all. But
it's a good problem to have. And then obviously the defense, Milenkovic is still there unless something happens I don't know about.
Actually, sorry, I'll give you the rumor on that. Which is he seems more and more likely to stay.
Oh, okay, good for them then. Yeah,
So
and then the YHC that they have beside him, Igor, very funny name for a Brazilian, but like he's a hooper. Biraghi, obviously quality, and like I think.
Shit, he's the transfer rumor.
Biragi?
Yeah, Nottingham Forest are trying to sign him,
Wow.
and he rejected them.
Oh, okay. Wow. Those guys are really aggressive for a newly
I know,
promoted
right?
team.
No, they're all because the newly promoted teams in England get like a
Oh,
bazillion
yeah.
dollars.
They
So,
get so much
but
money.
I'm just saying that's one to look out. Maybe they up
Yeah.
their bid or something, and he accepts whatever.
So yeah, Fiorentina overall, I would suggest casual fans watch them. They're very nice to
They're
watch. They're
so
fun
fun to watch.
team.
Yeah.
Cambiano is a great coach. I'd have them
Nico
finish.
Gonzalez, that
Yeah,
dude.
I didn't even mention the attacker, Sotil, my boy. I love that dude. Gonzalez, very nice. He's coming back. Like they return lots of production. They lost some as well, but they return a lot. And that's like for a young team, when you keep it together, it's always good. There's a lot for them to build on. I can see them like I think they will still be better than Atalanta again this season. You might disagree, but I think Atalanta will once again be kind of like the last of the serious.
Okay, see, this is the one I need to talk about, dude.
Okay,
The
then
Atalanta
let's go to Atalanta next. Let's go to Atalanta.
Okay.
Fiorentina, we kind of I feel the same.
We know what we think. Whatever.
Yeah. So
Atalanta, 6 to 8, whatever.
Let's talk about
okay. Atalanta transfers. Let's do this. Okay, they redeemed.
You got 5 minutes left, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Do you want?
Okay.
I'll just do the transfers in this 5 minutes, and then we'll talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We have Boga. They redeemed Boga for 22 million from Sassuolo. They signed Ederson, midfielder, 21 million from Salernitana, who had only joined for 6 months. Who had only joined Salernitana for 6 months from Brazil. They redeemed Demiral for 20 million from Juve, and they signed Ademola Lookman for 9 million from Leipzig, 24 years old.
And one more to add to that, they got a defender, Caleb Bukuli, back from loan, and he looks really, really good. He's a Nigerian, but he's also Italian.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, cool. That's another one.
He looks like he will start beside Rafael Tolea and Demiral. So like he's
all right, cool then. I didn't. Okay,
yeah. And then
the rumor outgoings, I didn't, because they have like a million outgoings all the time.
Yeah, but the important one was just Lovato. Lovato left.
Lovato, I didn't even count him because he didn't play that much. But he is. I mean, he's in another list on this. But anyway, he's in the other notable transfers. But Freuler,
yeah,
is probably going to Nottingham Forest.
That was surprising. I actually heard about that because I like Freuler.
Because Juve, of course, sorry, told you. But yeah, like Freuler, I mean, I would say they have to move on of some of these guys at some point.
Yeah,
right?
at some point. Yeah.
And they seem like Cooper Miners was good last year. And they signed this Edison guy for a lot of money, so they must think he's good.
And Perun is staying, so Freuler is
exactly. So it's not like they're short on options. So I guess it makes sense. Okay, that's 3 minutes 50. Let me just do this real quick.
Yeah,
I do not understand. Were people not paying attention? Like, they had so many injuries last year. Why do people all of a sudden just think they're gonna suck? To me, it's like Ilicic is gonna be back. Duvan's gonna play more. Muriel is whatever. He could be backup sub or whatever. Right? All of these, they had injuries in defense. Toloi barely played. They had Musso was horrific, unexpectedly, like just the worst ever. Right? That Mele guy, the left wing back, he flopped terribly. I think last year was the worst case scenario for them in every way. And I just don't see how it repeats again. Because to me, it's like if they play the same pedal to metal thing and it's still Duvan up top and it's still Ilicic is there, and I don't know what Lookman will give them, whatever. Like, I'll expect that. I expect that to be nothing because like they always do this shit.
I think Lookman is a Bundesliga player, so
yeah. So take of that what you want. He's useless is the point. But yeah, like I just don't. To me, it's like they'll be fifth. I had the fifth, fourth to fifth. Them or Roma. I don't. But it seems everybody's against me on that.
This might be our biggest disagreements because I have them eighth below Fiorentina, and
that's
I get
crazy.
I'll go into. I don't know how much time there is.
2 minutes 20.
2:21. I'll try. So you can just edit from this point on. I have them eighth, and the reason I have them eighth is because what I wrote that was a big plus is that there's lots of continuity from last year. They return a lot of production, which is always a positive. And Malinovsky, Pasalic goals. I think those guys are going to score a ton. Malinovsky especially, Pasalic especially. But the minus I have is that like last year, all that production that they had was only good enough for eighth. And yes, there were injuries, but a lot of players are older now. If you look at Duvanzi, if you chart the number of goals that he scored from 2018, 2019, 2020,
I get it.
It has been going down. It has been going down. He's 31 years old now. He's not the same Duvanzi as 2018. And it's like Luis Muriel is still fine. He's a perfectly good player. The defense looks new, and they might lose some more important players. And Ilicic being back is huge, but Ilicic is also older than 2019. So it's just like, it feels like Gasperini has kind of, time has caught up to his guys, like the dudes that were his dudes are older now, and he has to make new dudes, and that always takes a little while. So it's just like, this season might be New Year Zero, and then next year I can see them challenging for fifth again, especially if like this Zortea guy at wingback hits, if Myla fixes some problems that he has. I can see things getting fixed, but like 1 year would be impressive to do that in 1 year. So that's why I'm lower on them than you, but I still comfortably think they'll score 1 billion goals and be better than everyone. So I mean, if eighth is their floor, that's still a very good floor for the season that they had last year. So you never know.
All right, so that's the top 8, the notable. All right, let me just go through my other notable transfers. Both I'll do within the league. We have Giovanni Simeone to Hellas for 10.5 million, and then who will then go to Napoli, apparently, for 15 million, of course. Lovato to Salernitana, which we just talked about, for 7 million.
Like those.
A personal one for me, Abdelhamid Sabiri, who went to Sampdoria for 1 million, but nobody watched that guy. Nobody knows who he is, but I swear to you, that guy is good. Just pay attention to that.
Is he Palestinian?
No, he's Moroccan.
Oh, okay.
Do you think if there was a Palestinian player in the league, you think I would shut up about that? I would have done the entire episode on that.
Lots of Moroccans in Serie now.
Yeah. Then finally, I did Caprari and Cranio to Monza on loans, because I just thought neither of those transfers. The Cranio one fine, Kelly got relegated, I guess, so it makes sense. Caprari made no sense to me because he was really, really good last year.
Mm-hmm.
And they just sent him on loan like it was nothing. And I'm like, why? He would easily start. The only explanation is obviously Hellas have a new manager, and maybe he doesn't like him or whatever. But like, it was weird. The departures, however, are sad, honestly. The departure, so much talent has left the league. So we have Destiny Udoji is leaving the Spurs for 20 million. Scamacca left to West Ham for 36 million. Nawel Molina left to Atleti for 20 million. I should probably say where these guys left from. Udinese and Molina both left from Udinese. Scamacca left from Sassuolo. So Udinese have a completely new wing back. Actually, to be fair, Udoji is coming back on loan, so I guess half of wing back duo. Arthur Thite and Aaron Hickey both left Brentford. Arthur Thite to Rennes for 19 million, and Aaron Hickey to Brentford for 16.
Both left Bologna.
Hickey you're right. Sorry, they both left Bologna. My bad. And Damsgaard left Sampdoria to Brentford for 12 million. Or 14 million. I don't know. Somebody's telling me it's a bunch of bonuses. Whatever.
Yeah.
And Belotti has left Torino. We don't know where to yet. There's been rumors about Roma, rumors about Monaco, rumors about Dortmund, I think. There's a lot of rumors. He'll end up somewhere, and it seems like it's more and more likely that it won't be in the league. So
end of an era, really pouring out for Belotti. One of the best players Serie had in the 2010s.
For a long time, yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, just making that list of all the departures kind of made me sad, because like that's so much talent.
That's why it frustrates me when people say Serie sucks. Like Gio, especially, he's always talking about, oh my god, he always says that like
we produce a lot of talent. The sad part is like all those guys should have made moves within the league. Like every one of those guys, a top team within the league needs that guy. Like Arthur Thite could easily be our third center back. Now, again, the problem is it's the 19 million, right? But that guy could easily be our backup center back. He could easily start for a couple teams.
Yeah.
He could start for Roma, no doubt, easily. Guys like, you know what I'm saying? Aaron Hickey, second or third best left back in the league last year.
Good player.
He could
Really good.
easily start for a whole bunch of teams. He should have been at Napoli. Like, guy, you know what I'm saying? Guys like that. That is disappointing.
That's how leagues stay good for a long
Yeah,
time.
Scamacca should have been getting that move within the league, right? And instead he's going to West Ham, and it's like,
Yeah.
or at least he should have been staying at Sassuolo and then getting a big move, like Vlahovic did.
Yeah,
I don't know. Those just kind of make me sad. But
yeah, it's a shame.
if you have any others to add, I don't know if you have any others that you know that you want to add.
Yeah, it's just notable that basically the league now has a clearer divide between like the top 10 and the bottom 10 than it used to be, in my opinion. Because like before, after like 6, it was just like a medley of teams between like 7th and like 14th. But now it seems like Fiorentina, Atalanta, Hellas, Sassuolo,
they broke away.
Yeah, they've broken away. And I feel like that's really good because it kind of raises the standard, because like the guys,
those teams are actually trying to do shit.
Yeah,
they're not trying to just exist.
Bologna, Sampdoria, Torino. Now those guys have been like, we need to catch up, and that's what's exciting to me. And I feel like Torino is a team that like almost got relegated a while ago. They lost Belotti now, so I feel like that's the team I'm really excited to see. Like, what do they look like now going forward? Like, what's the new Torino like? I'm just paying attention to them. I'm just paying attention to Empoli because I like Empoli. I think they're a very good example of what promoted teams should try to do.
Oh, by the way, they lost somebody too. They lost Matthias Vina.
Ooh,
Mattia Vina. He went to Nice. Sorry, I forgot to put that one on the list. But now that you mentioned it,
yeah. But yeah, I think Empoli is a very good example of promoted teams, so I like them as well. And then everyone else kind of the same. Udinese, they will still play the very diseased, disgusting style of football that I hate so much.
Can't wait to see them on Saturday. Fuck those guys.
It's very frustrating. Deulofeu, very good player. I like him a lot, but like,
And Beto, they redeemed Beto. Actually, that too.
Real good for them. Yeah. So, Salernitana is a team that like Plato really likes them because they have a new Chilean now. But I think I like them and Monza as a very interesting like contrast, because they've basically done like opposite transfer fees. Salernitana have gotten like a bunch of young talents that they hope can like grow very quickly and make them like decently mid-table. And Monza just have like a bunch of mercenaries. So it's just like, who will win? I think
Monza's gonna
just because like Serie experience matters a lot, and they have
I've seen exactly. We've seen the Monza get a bunch of guys who've been there and done that. We've seen that. What's it called? Like that formula work a lot.
Yeah.
But Salernitana's formula has a bit higher ceiling. But with them,
and Salernitana's coach is better in my opinion. I think Davide Nicola.
Yeah, Nicola is nice. Yeah, he's like.
So I think it will be interesting to watch them. And then Bologna, Sampdoria, Torino, Empoli, Udinese. I think they'll just be fine. I have them in like my league prediction. I have like the top 10 is the top 10.
Okay, let's hold on. Let's do that because I have the quick fire questions.
Yeah, so
let's do it. Title winner.
My going from top to bottom, I have my top 4 is Inter, Milan, Juve, Napoli.
Okay, and then you're really just tell me the relegations now.
Oh, okay. Then the relegations is Spezia, Lecce, Cremonese.
Wow, you have Spezia. I had Salernitana instead of Spezia.
Yeah, I had Salernitana 17th and Spezia 18th. I think it's nice, but
close. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then I'll just ask you a bunch of questions. So this subjective questions now.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think is going to be the best signing of the season? Any team.
Best signing of the season overall, best new signing. I think. Let me think before I give my answer, because I don't want to say without properly. I think the best new signing, the best new addition to this league, if I can just go through everyone and see all the new signings.
You could say Lukaku. That's what I'm going for. It's just the easy way out. But
I don't think he'll be that good, frankly. I'm saying it now. I don't think I'm going to be.
What is that good though? I don't think he's going to be what he was before, but I still think he's going to be really good.
I think he will score like 11 goals, and Inter will.
Oh wow! Okay, well, I didn't have a hot take section, but fuck, I like that one.
I think Lukaku is like finished, and people don't realize. I think people will be very scared.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
That's my bold.
Oh wait, hold on. How the hell do you have him scoring 11 goals and they win the title?
Because their team is just that good. I think a lot of people will score.
The team is not that good, man. The team is not good enough where their main striker scores 11 goals in every
Lautaro,
spot.
they have two strikers. That's the thing. They play with two strikers, and
Ugh, man.
Lautaro looks serious, man. Lautaro looks serious. I don't know, but I think Lukaku is finished, and it's very sad. I mean, I don't hate Lukaku, but like he's always been a guy that's frustrated me, and I think
I began hating him now. I don't like him.
this season will be a season that people will be very frustrated with him and will run out of patience with him.
Well, so okay, who do you pick? I picked Lukaku. Who do you pick then?
Okay, so my signing of the season, now that I've looked at it properly, I think it will be Kim from Napoli. I feel good about him. I think he's going to. I think if Napoli finish third and they
then he'll have had a lot of to do.
Yeah, I think he would have played a big part in that. And I think ultimately people look back like, wow, 18 million for this dude. Like that was pretty good business. So yeah, that's it. That's what I feel good about Kim. I feel good about a lot of people, but when I look at Kim, because I don't want to pick like a mid-table one of these like Fiorentina or Buga. So I think Kim just feels good. I mean,
you could pick like Jovic. So Fiorentina signing.
Yeah,
I'm not picking him either, but I'm just saying like he does look good. I'll say that.
And I would say if I put my Milan hat on, I think that the Adli signing is a signing that didn't get fanfare because of the formula of like
because we left him on loan.
But I think that dude has such a crazy, disgustingly high ceiling. Man. I think he has such a high ceiling that like if he can bounce Brahim from the 11 and become like the day one like attacking midfielder for us for a full season, I think that dude will get like double figure assists like comfortably to a disgusting level, and people will call him the signing of the season. But like, I'm not ready to make that prediction yet because I'm still very.
I would pick Origi if we're doing a Milan.
Okay.
But listen, my thing with the funniest thing is that we complained about Brahim being so short the whole season that they went out and signed a 6'3" and a 6'4" attacking midfielder. So I just found that hilarious.
Down on it, yeah.
But okay. So 2 years ago when we did last year when we did this, we said that Lukaku had been the best player in the league and then he left.
Mm-hmm.
And we tried to predict who would be the best player in the league in the upcoming season.
Mm-hmm.
In that video, we both said Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, obviously, he would later leave. And so that didn't happen. And I think we both agree it ended up being Leao, right?
Yeah.
Right. Who do you think is going to be the best player this upcoming season?
I think the best player overall will still probably be Leao, just because Milan is still saying we're still going to play the same way. Everything is still
we give him opportunities to be the best.
Yeah, and I agree. He himself has improved a lot since last year. There's things that he does so much better now, but like,
if he can shoot,
that is the limit. Yeah,
if he can shoot, like I don't know what they do with them at that point. But okay, so a signing you hate.
A signing I hate. Okay.
It could be you hate the player, or it could be you hate the value, whatever it is.
I will go back to what I said earlier. I think Bremer to Juve for that money and the contract that they gave him, I think they kind of got pump fake by Inter. I don't know. I think
I'm surprised that's your pick. I mean, Pogba's my pick.
Oh, Pogba. I guess if we're doing that,
such an easy pick. To be fair, we've both already piled on Pogba. So
I feel like I tried to say something different, but like, I'm just a Bremer hater, but like he's fine. But like for Juve, for what they want to do, I don't know. Yeah, but obviously Pogba, I think Pogba will just not even be a factor. I think it will be one of those things that people will just forget that he's on the team because he will play so little and he will just matter so little that it will just be. People will be confused, like, why is he on this team? Like, what is he adding? For a lot of his Man U tenure, that was how it was. So I guess the one good season he had at Man U was the one where Lukaku was there, like 2018-19. I think he had like double figure goals and assists that season, but like I don't expect him to do that at Juve. It's just one of those things that is just really baffling. Like, what is that?
He's athletically finished. All right. Then we have top 3 non-top 7 players. So not like outside top 8, let's say. The top 8 teams, who are your top 3 players of the other teams?
So my number 1 is Berardi. My number 2 is Simeone for now. If he goes to Napoli, then Deulofeu will move up. And then my number 3 is Deulofeu. And then my number 4 for if Simeone moves up, the guy that will be below Deulofeu, I might just have to give it to I might have to give it to I have to think. because there's lots of good.
It's
There's lots
hard
of,
because so many of them left. Like my picks,
yeah,
so many of my picks from the
lots of
past
good
2 years
players,
would
right?
have gone.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. I'll tell you mine if you want. If you
Okay,
want.
yeah, go ahead.
Mine are what's his name? Barak. Well, no, he's not first. Berardi's first. Sorry.
Mhm.
Berardi's obviously first. Then Barak. Then honestly, it gets so tough between these guys.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
Antonio Barak would be my fourth for
I,
if.
I'll pick De La Feu from your
Yeah,
list.
I
Honestly,
like Deulofeu a lot. I think he's
he
just the
is. He's very
perfect,
good.
he's the perfect profile of player that will come to Serie A and succeed. Like
Yeah, yeah.
he's just very good, good get. And obviously, people would wonder, wow, I think two Udinese players are the best of the non-top eight, but I don't have Udinese finishing in top eight. Please watch Serie A for like one season, and you understand why Udinese can have good players and be so bad.
And
It's
they are the
really
most
paradox.
diseased team ever. We hate
They
them. Anyway,
consistently have good players, but they just don't play good football and they lose a lot of games. Just
the top. I asked you, did you write them down? The top three players of whatever the categories and but
yeah,
stuff.
I wrote top five, but I can give top three. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay. So top three goalkeepers. You do yours, and I'll say mine.
I wrote Mayon, Chesney, and Skorupski.
Skorupski. Okay.
Yeah.
I wrote Mike, Woj, and Onana with a question mark, just because I couldn't think of anybody. I just couldn't
I
think
don't
of
know.
anybody else. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
even
I don't
know.
know if Onana will start on us, but like I
Neither do
definitely
I,
don't
honestly.
think Handanovic is top five anymore. And
Neither do I.
I like Skorupski. Bologna,
Skorupski's
yeah,
Skorupski or Patricio, I feel like would be
yeah,
fair
yeah, yeah,
picks.
yeah, yeah.
But it's definitely a considerable drop after two.
Yeah, it's a big drop off.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
Bologna are okay. They have good defense and scopes he can keep. So yeah, I like him
Yeah.
there. Mm-hmm.
Fullbacks.
Fullbacks, I had Theo, Gosens, and Spinazzola. All left backs. Funny enough.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's different to mine. Okay. I had Teo Quadrado, and then I had Calabria / Gosens because I don't Gosens when he went last we saw like when his last full season at Atalanta was better, right? But it's been a year since that. So I had to, but if he's back to that, then he's better than Calabria.
My fourth was Calabria, and then my fifth was like Maricic. But like, yeah, I can see Calabria being like top two.
You don't have Quadrado on the top five?
I don't like him that much, man.
Dude,
You're
wrong.
Bad. I think Juve are really bad now because they still rely on Quadrado. I think Quadrado
think he's he's the one who's been screwed over by having this crap next to him. Anyway,
it's very sus if you used to be a winger and now you're like a full-time fullback. Like that's very.
Oh, come on, that's half the universe now. Okay,
so,
now I'm interested because I thought we would have a lot of the same. But okay, center backs.
CV. I had Skriniar first, Tomori second, Bastoni third.
Oh, Bastoni, I forgot about it. Okay, I had Skriniar, Tomori, and then I had Bremer. But I guess Bremer and Bastoni somewhere. We've established that you don't like Bremer on this thing.
Yeah, so fourth for me was Demiral, and then fifth was Bremer.
Okay, top three midfielders.
This one.
That's all midfielders, attacking mids, defensive midfielders. I was just like, fuck it, just throw them all.
I picked Barella first, Tonali, then Benasser.
Ooh, you left out Brozovic.
I left out Brozovic. I left out Sergey. I left out Zielinski.
Wow.
I struggled with it a lot, but I'm just like, how can I predict Inter and Milan top two? And I think that their midfielders aren't the best midfielders.
I agree, but I had Brozovic, Barella, and Tonali. And I was between Tonali and Benasser so much. And then I was like, I got to give benefit of doubt to the guy who had the better season this past season. So I picked Tonali. But I will say, I feel like Tonali and Benasser and Barella and Brozovic, they're all bunched up in a four.
Yeah,
where it's like,
sure.
It's not like, okay, I picked three because I said top three, but like, if whatever, they're all bunched up together. Okay, wingers.
So winger, I have Leao, Berardi, and then I decided to grade Malinowski as a winger just because Atlanta's formation is weird, but if you look at it as like 3-4-3, then Malinowski is the right winger. So yeah, and he's occupying that side of the field anyway.
Yeah, I had Leao, Berardi, and then Di Maria / Chiesa. I'm not sure which one.
Okay, so I like.
The thing is, Di Maria is not really gonna play on the wing.
Yeah,
is the difference.
Yeah, and then also I like Zakani a lot at Lazio.
Same.
I
So
think
do I.
he's
And
so
Boga.
nice.
Boga's one for me.
Yeah, I think he's so nice and he could get better. And then also, Dale Phil is just a very quiet sort of player where he's just going to do his thing and
Okay,
he
yeah.
won't have headlines, but he's very effective at winger. And then Boga, as you see, Atalanta, they could explode. And I think Boga will be a big part of that because he just fits their profile so well. He just exactly everything that they want to do, he does. So yeah,
I feel
Boga,
like he just came at a bad period last year.
yeah,
Like he came in the middle of all their injuries and all that stuff. Like,
yeah.
okay, strikers.
So center forward, I have Osimhen, Immobile, Vlahovic, top three.
Wow. Okay, yeah, right. We've already discussed. I don't know why I'm surprised because we already discussed Lukaku. But mine was Immobile, Lukaku, and then Vlahovic / Tammy, which actually sparks a question. Which of the? I feel like those two are so different styles.
I have Abraham right below Vlahovic, and then I have Lautaro below.
Same. I picked Vlahovic too. I don't know what it is about Vlahovic because, like, technically, Tammy's better, but like, as in like keeping the ball and all that shit.
So
right?
to put on my nerd glasses, I think the reason that Abraham frustrates us is that he gets a lot of XG, but he doesn't score that.
No, he doesn't. That's why I like.
He gets
forget all the stuff. When I was thinking about it, I was like, Vlahovic is a killer. So I pick him. That's all. I didn't think about it too much. I was just like, look, they're close, but Vlahovic is a killer, and I want him.
That makes me so bored with Abraham is that like Vlahovic and Abraham can have 16 XG. Abraham will have 13 goals. Vlahovic will have 18 goals.
And stats people will say the first one is worse than the second one.
Yeah, stats people will say that Abraham is better.
No, 18 is the right. I want him. I want my striker to overachieve.
Wow, any day now he's going to explode. And then they say any day now Vlahovic will stop scoring. But it's like, no, strikers that overperform XG shows that they're doing something right. It's either they're scoring a lot of difficult chances or they're not missing much. But either way, it's good. It's good. And I think Vlahovic is kind of one of those, he's a prisoner of like FT loving narratives of like, oh, he rejected Arsenal, I went to Juve, so now we have to hate him because he didn't want to go to
If he went to Arsenal, he'd be everybody's grandchild.